we started discussing plans for this forum, I recall beginning by saying, look, I don't know what I want, but I know what I don't want. I don't want last year, because last year's gone. We want something new and fresh and interesting. And discussion among the committee, and most members, virtually every member on that committee is from the diaspora. I was the only one outside of the diaspora that was part of that committee. So what's planned here tonight is for people within the diaspora who know what you're looking for. And there was a suggestion from among the group, well, very often our countries tell us that they'd like us to be marketers of this country. They'd like us to sell the destinations, but frankly, we don't know what we're selling. And therefore, we spoke a little bit, and some more, and the idea of rediscovering home evolved. And coming out of this idea, I will share a program with you that we're looking forward to doing as well. But first of all, I asked, what have I done for you lately? Or what have we at CTU done for you lately? You demanded to see us a lot more frequently. That came out last year. That has come up in other arenas and other fora. So we decided that we had to meet you. And since last June, we had 2 meetings in New York, 2 in Toronto. We met with Miami. We met in Boston, had a fantastic meeting in Boston just recently, and we've got plans for others. You'll see here that we discussed a program to keep the diaspora engaged. That program we will talk about tonight. And we got input for a new website, because one of the demands, really, that you made last year was that we develop and build a website that is for the Caribbean diaspora. And we will launch the website tonight. And please feel free to applaud us. As Owen said, to applaud us. To applaud us. And you will see that website a little later tonight. We hired a company from the diaspora to design and build the website. So one of you, you said that we didn't engage you and you were not involved, and so we've got a company from within the diaspora to design and build the website with input, an awful lot of input from people within the diaspora. I said we met with a number of diaspora leaders in various cities, and we're planning others in Europe. And by the way, our diaspora in the UK have been very much engaged in that lobby against the UK air passenger duty in the current form that it is. They've been involved, they've been engaged, and to a certain degree they will continue to be involved. And with Carol Hay, our UK director in the UK, but our chairman of CTU, our Secretary General, I don't see Minister McGinley from Antigua there, but he's been in the forefront, and Jamaica has been part of that. So the ministers of tourism from the CTO member countries engaging the diaspora in the UK, and they're right along us, not behind us, alongside us, helping in that fight. Now, our program of Rediscovering Home. First of all, what is it? It's a celebration of all things Caribbean. I recall saying to a group in Toronto, it is said that you can't be all things to all people. We are trying to be all things to all diaspora here. It's a program that is, it's a celebration of all things Caribbean. We're proposing a year-long program of activities that will engage the diaspora, designed to get you to visit and to participate as well. Not just go home to your home of heritage. It's not just about going back to Barbados. It's about going back to Barbados and flying to St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Trinidad. It's about flying to Jamaica and then going on to the Cayman Islands and Haiti. It's about going to the Bahamas and going to Turks and Caicos Islands as well. It's a program that will encourage you to go back home and rediscover home. And home is the Caribbean. That's what we're proposing this year. Some elements of it we know will be organized by CTO, but a lot of it we expect to be organized and run by individual member countries. It is going to take an awful lot of work. It will take collaboration of every single public sector, private sector, airlines, tour operators, travel agents, hotels. I shared this idea with someone from the hotel sector about a week or so ago. They said, would like you to really involve the diaspora. Took a little while, and it sunk in. And said, at the very least, we would like you to give the rates to everyone in the diaspora that you gave us your staycation rate. So we treat everyone equal, whether you were living in the US or in the UK or living in St. Lucia. Took a little while and said, you know what, you make sense. So we're pleased that we're beginning to make some sense. So we then have to engage the hoteliers and the airlines and everyone else to ensure that this program works. It's designed to boost tourist arrivals, of course, increasing revenue. We're not shy to tell you that's one of the things that we want to do, because, you know, we're all about tourism. It attracts members of the diaspora to rediscover home by visiting sometime during that year. Not once, but as often as you can. Some of the activities, of course, already on the schedule. There's already cricket, there's carnival, there are festivals all over. We want programs around those, and there will be new activities that we're looking to plan. Celebrate the contribution of the Caribbean to the world. I mean, I don't need to elaborate on that, do I? We all know the contribution. You've heard over the last 2 days the chairman of CTU talking of the contribution of Alexander Hamilton to the US. And if you didn't hear the chairman say it, you heard the Secretary General talk about it. And I mean, I don't want to list because there are just so many, but the contribution of the Caribbean to the world, whether it's in politics, in art, in sport, in entertainment, whatever it is, there is an immense contribution that the Caribbean is making to the rest of the world. And we want to celebrate that as well. And we will create a legacy for future engagement with the diaspora. This is just the beginning of the engagement with you. We want to continue to engage you as often as we possibly can, because you are officially, tonight, you've been declared as an official part of the CTO Caribbean family. And we recognize that. You just happen to live in a geographical area that doesn't say Bridgetown as the capital. As a matter of fact, Bridgetown remains the capital, and so does Roseau and Pointe-à-Pitre and San Juan and Kingston. So what are we looking at? A series of initiatives to engage and attract you. We want to facilitate travel to and through the Caribbean. We were in Boston some time ago, as I said, and the discussion evolved. And people were saying, well, it's not just about going to my home. I want to go to the Caribbean, but I'd like to make it easier to get to the Caribbean. And when I get there, would like to make it easier to get through the Caribbean. We want to go from island to island, from country to country, from destination to destination. We want to make it easier. That means, as I said, we will engage the airlines to at least make sure that they have special diaspora rates during this Rediscover Home year of activities. Is on here, tour operators must be involved, regional airlines, hoteliers, other carriers. They all are expected to promote Rediscovering Home, special packages, special advertisements. Something else that we heard on one of these listening tours, as we call it, is you've got to, it's not just about getting us engaged and excited and about coming back home. It's also about getting home excited about us coming in. Home has to be prepared to welcome us. Give me an opportunity during one of those visits to mention the TVS, as our Secretary General has contracted it to, which is Total Visitor Satisfaction program that we're looking to launch as well. We have started doing some work on it. Therefore, when you come back home, you will be welcome. We recognize your contribution. We recognize that when you come back home, you don't always stay at a hotel, but except this time we want the hotel to have special packages so you can stay there. But we also recognize that when you go home and stay with your friends and your family, you do spend in the community. And so we're aware of that as well. So, some ideas. This is just some ideas that we threw on the table. We're hoping that the countries will adopt at least some of those, and also create their own programs. This is not exhaustive by any means, but things that will cost and things that won't cost that much. Often the diaspora come back home. We want the governments and MPs to meet them and exchange with them as well and share ideas and listen to their concerns. Well, how about a meeting of all MPs across the Caribbean, all meeting all the returning Caribbean people on a particular day at a particular time. Can you imagine what that would mean? You wake up this morning and you turn on the telly and someone is saying Caribbean MPs right across the Caribbean, from Bermuda all the way to Suriname and Guyana, right across, a today meeting with the returning nationals. I think that would be fantastic. It's an idea. They don't have to accept it, but it's an idea that we have on the table. They may take this and develop it a lot further and make it a lot better, and that's fine with us. In order to maximize the PR, the meeting will take place, as I said, on the same day. Something else that we're proposing is a Diaspora movie festival, and I see Frances Ann in the audience here, and I'm sure she'd be willing to be an integral part of a Diaspora movie festival where we show movies featuring actors, producers, writers, directors, everyone with Caribbean heritage. It's a year, folks, so we can slot them in different places at different times. Music and other creative arts. Festivals featuring artists from the Caribbean diaspora and the Caribbean, of course. Sporting contest. I'm thinking contest among members of the diaspora and contest between those of us who live at home, because you're now home, and those who live in the diaspora. Various contests offering special prizes to members of the diaspora. Food and rum festivals. Your own ideas. I'm saying it's not exhaustive. What does CTU intend to do? Just put it up on here. As part of what we will do. Undertake two major events. One is an annual Diaspora conference, which staged the first one. And I'm hoping that as soon as possible after this here, we will have countries lining up to stage that conference in the Caribbean, where we talk about issues that are of concern to the diaspora. The other is the Global Awards. We want to do a Diaspora Global Awards program, and we want it to be good. We want it to be really good. We want it better than the Oscars. We want it better than the Emmys. We want it better than the Tonys. We want it to be good. We're in various fields. It's not just tourism, it's not just sport. Whether it's tourism, it's medicine, it's sport, it's art. Huge Diaspora Global Awards that will involve not just North America, but Europe as well. So these are two key things that we're considering at CTO. How is that going to work? Well, we've got to have a properly structured PR campaign, of course. We've got to target Caribbean nationals wherever they live to be part of that campaign. In a sense, you've got to be targets and instruments. You help us sell it, and while at the same time you are coming. We've got to use social media, diplomatic missions, the works, traditional, non-traditional means to ensure that the diaspora across the world knows, is aware of, and is willing to participate in the Rediscover Home program. By the time that year is over, you will know home, as my old grandma used to say, better than the back of your hands. Because you would have gone back to wherever the country that you are from, or your parents or grandparents are from. And I normally say to people, I've got 4 brothers. And 3 of them have never set foot in the Caribbean. Never. Ever. I want them. I want them in the Caribbean. I want them to rediscover home. And what bothers me most is if they don't come, their children don't. And I want their children too, you see. So I want all my brothers, I want my sisters as well, and I want their children, and I want their children's children. So it becomes a true Caribbean family, and we're hoping this program will be the start of something like this. So, I accept that diaspora media are key allies in this thing, and we can't leave them out. So we will give them the leads and let them follow the stories. The adverts will have to be in there, the diaspora media. We did hear you last year complain a lot that you don't advertise with us. Well, we have reason once we get the program started, we should, because if we want to target the diaspora, we have to get through to you. We're hoping that you'll work along with us as well in following up the leads and reaching as many in the diaspora as possible. We should rope in the Caribbean celebrities, the advertisements online and wherever, so they can be spokespeople for us to help us promote this program. And we're hoping to have a little contest for a jingle and a logo as part of this. I said we will be online, and a little later I will show you what we've done regarding the website. But I just wanted to have a conclusion here and read: Diaspora will provide a unique opportunity for the Caribbean, both collectively and individually, to connect with the diaspora in a manner which we haven't done in the past. It affords us the opportunity also to be creative in the development of programs for the tourism sector. So we're reaching out to our people, and we're still, of course, our primary responsibility is tourism. So we are trying to merge them and do them both. To interest the diaspora in visiting several destinations, the economic impact and the publicity will be welcome, but to my mind, it is the goodwill that we will establish between what's home and those who live here that will be immeasurable and long-lasting. Thank you very much.